Hi, everybody. My name is Jerry Charlton. This is my website. I'm a realtor in Calgary, Alberta, and this is the homepage of my website. What we're going to do today is use my website to have a look at some foreclosures. And where do you find foreclosures for sale on my website? Let's go over to the menu here and hit foreclosures for sale today. And we can scroll down here and we can see that there's 32 foreclosures. I only get involved in single family detached homes. There are other foreclosures, apartments, townhouses, but this is just single family detached homes. So we can see the first one here is 465 and it's in Abbeydale and it's 1,230 square feet. We can click here and get some details and some more pictures on the place. But we don't know if this is a good price. So that's what I want to see first. Is this a good price for a 1,230 square foot home in Abbeydale? Well, here's a really easy way to find out. We're just going to go over here, search by community, go to Abbeydale, and these are all the homes for sale in Abbeydale. And again, it's just detached homes, so we don't get mixed up with other types of properties. And we can see right away that here's that foreclosure. And we also have 4 other properties below that price. And then we have this one at 490 that looks like it had some work done to it. But if we scroll down here and we look at this updated, it's today. This is the active pending sold chart. So the active listings are these red triangles. Most recent sales are the purple circles. The fair value trend line is based on the most activity around the solds. And then we just look at a little bit above and a little bit below the fair value trend line to get a fair value price range. And for Abbeydale, we can see that, yeah, there are 2, 4, 5 homes below the price range average. And there they are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we can get full details on all of these. But this is the one that we brought us here, this foreclosure, that if you wanted to buy this one, it would have to be an unconditional offer, no counter offers, as is, where is on the day of possession. So not much buyer protection. Where these other 4 are not foreclosures, and you can put in offers that'll get a counter offer. You can add conditions like home inspection and financing. So that's one thing to be aware of. The foreclosure isn't always the cheapest. And the foreclosure does come with the least amount of buyer protection, where these non-foreclosures, you get some buyer protection and you get to negotiate. So back to our chart here, we want to look at, there's 8 listings. So there should be 8 triangles, 2, 4, 6, 8, and there is. And we can see where they fit compared to the ones that have sold recently, detached homes by size in Abbeydale. Isn't this a great visual? So you can see if you pick this one up here for less than 425 and made some improvements, you could get it up $100,000, maybe more, depending on how good you are at your renovations and supplies and tradespeople and all that sort of stuff. So it's worth considering. Any of these ones actually below the trend range here are worth a closer look to see if you can improve them and perhaps get a higher price, or just buy them, rent them out for a few years, and then renovate and maybe get a higher price. These are the most recent sales, sorted by price range. So we can see back in September, 390, 1,230 square feet. So that one probably needed some work. And then we jump right up to 450, a couple of 450, a bunch out in that 470, 480 range to 500. So there's a lot of higher price sales, which is good if you're buying a lower price property. Now, this is an interesting chart. This is Abbeydale home history. Going back, every sale that's recorded in the MLS system is one of these little dots from before 1992, when prices were in that below 100, a little over $100,000, and they stayed in a tight range. And mostly they stayed in this tight range because these homes didn't need any work. They weren't that old at that point. And then we had this crazy jump in 2008, and then it kind of came back down, went sideways, went back up a little bit, down a little bit, and COVID 2020 sideways. But what we're looking at here is the spread between the lows and the highs, lows and the highs, lows and the highs. So between, this 400,000, mid 400 to high 500s, that's kind of your area of opportunity. As an investor, you do want to buy down here, make some improvements, sell up here, and you don't have to do that right away. A good plan is to hold it as a rental property for a few years and let it go up just by doing nothing, and then perhaps renovate and get out a little bit higher. So, we started looking at this property up here that's a foreclosure in Abbeydale for 1,230 square feet, but we had no idea whether that was a good price or not. We really have to dig deeper into these other ones and look at the details, look at the map, look at the pictures, look at the size, all the, drill down into the nitty gritty and see if we want to go and have another look at this place or a look at this place. We know the numbers. Once you know the numbers, you can walk into the place and tell pretty quickly whether or not there's some opportunity there. Now, if we go back to our foreclosures for sale today, and we look at, here's one for $479, and what we're looking at is the price. We know it's in Country Hills. We know it's 962 square feet, but is $479 a good price? Well, we don't know, but we're going to find out. And the way we find out is we go up here to search by community, and we're looking for Country Hills right there. And we can see our foreclosure is right here, 962 square feet, 479. There's only 3 listings right now in Country Hills, which is very low. So there's our 3 triangles, and they're all the triangles. So all the active sales are in the price range. So I don't see any opportunity on that property. Let's go back to foreclosures. Let's have a look at the next one. Huntington Hills, 1,132 square feet. Got the garage on the bottom here. So, well, we can just click right on here. We don't have to. Or do we? Let's see what happens here. So we go to Huntington Hills. We're looking at this property. It definitely needs some work, updating. It looks dated. It's not terrible. It's just dated. But is it a deal? Is it a deal for Huntington Hills? Okay, so we do have to go up here, and we do have to go over to Huntington Hills. Huntington Hills, there we are. And we can see it's number 2 on the list. This looks like a mobile home, which explains the price. So this is the least expensive one right now out of 10 homes. So we should have 10 triangles on our active pending sold. And we'll go down here and see what we got. What was our price? $4.99. $4.99. First of all, do we have 10 triangles? There's none of them are pending. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 triangles. A little over 400, a little under 500. Which one were we looking at? A little under 500. Okay. It's not, I mean, it's below the price range, average, or trend range. So there is some opportunity. You could buy it for 5 and get it up in over 6 with some work. Or again, just buy it and hold it and sell it down the road. So this is our square footage. There's our area of opportunity, really. Buy here, sell here. Doesn't look terrible. It's got potential. Here's our recent sales. You can see there's one of those mobile home single wide. That shouldn't be showing up here, but it does. And we can see that one is, there's been quite a few that have sold below 500. September, June, September, October, August. So, you're going to be in this range on that one, right? 500,000, same kind of square footage. But what can you do with it? There's a bungalow, same kind of square footage, 686. So you can see that there's lots of room for improvement, and sales are pretty strong in Huntington Hills. So that's definitely worth looking at. The numbers make sense. Let's look at the property. Let's look at some pictures. Okay, it's kind of a unique style. You don't see this very much, where you got a garage underneath and you've got this kind of patio out front. And there's your old countertops, your old flooring, cabinets. Got the dividing wall, so a lot of people would just open that up. Old fireplace. Can't tell if these are hardwood floors or not. Kitchen, bedroom. Windows don't look very good. So this place would require some work. The bones are good from the looks of it. That's the front of the house. That's over the garage. That's the back of the house. Sloping backyard. Little patio area. Shingles don't look great. Yeah, the windows don't look like they've been updated. I always like to see exactly where these are. So there's your map. There's, you do have a back alley. The neighbor there's got a garage. You're definitely sloping. Yeah, there's the neighbor's garage there. So I think we're this one. It's not terrible. It's worth a look. So that's how first of all, we need to find foreclosures. Very easy on my website. These are all the foreclosures that are for sale. But is it a good price? Let's check one more. We're in Queensland for 1,200 square foot, 500,000. Okay, let's go over to Queensland. Search by community. Look at Queensland. Where are you, Queensland? Right here. It was 500. Right there. This one's 429. 500. This is a foreclosure, but there's one that's not a foreclosure. It's quite a bit less, quite a bit smaller. Let's see what it looks like overall. For Queensland, we don't know if it's a good price. There's our 5 properties, 2, 4, 5. Why is this one so? I mean, these are both have potential. 900. 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the numbers look kind of okay. Now this per square foot is the average per square foot, 478. Average days listed 23. Average price 600. Good market down in Queensland. The historical sales, you can see that we do have a large spread right now. As these homes get older, some get renovated, some don't. There's opportunities down here, the whole area of opportunity. So Queensland, well, those two kind of look interesting. So let's have a look. Queensland. This is a raised bungalow. It's a lot of snow. What was this place listed? Here we go. Inside. Inside needs some work. Needs some work. Somebody started to do some work. Not very good work. This is a type of property you're going to get in that price range. Needs some windows, needs a lot of updating. Definitely a project. Somebody is thinking of doing the project, but not anymore. So what's the story there? Got a garage, workshop to use while you're rebuilding the place. That looks like a wheelchair lift. This is the one for 430,000. New listing. Where is it in the community? It's not a terrible location. It looks like a contender, folks. And then this is the foreclosure. Is it a contender? Not a lot of pictures. No pictures of the interior. That's typical on foreclosures. Sometimes look at this backyard. Oh man. How long has this been on the market? It was listed October 30th. So you're buying this as is, where is. No counter offers. You really, handyman special. Judicial sale. So this is going through the courts. So that makes it really hard to buy as well. So, yeah. And there we are. The Queensland fair market value and all the details on Queensland. So I don't know if I'd look at this one, but I would look at this one. And I might look at this one. A lot of people might look at this one. So again, back to our whole system for finding foreclosures. That's the easy part. Finding a foreclosure is an easy part. Here you've got 500,000 in Hayesboro. I know that's a great price, but when you look at this property, it's not such a great price. I've looked at this property. It's terrible. Somebody was going to do a reno. They don't even have any pictures of the inside, but I've been inside it and it's terrible. They're going to have a hard time at that price. Now you could go this route, looking at foreclosures. Your other option is just to pick a community. Here's a map of all the communities in Calgary. And you can choose your community. Let's choose Hayesboro. Like Hayesboro and Acadia in the south, and Thorncliffe, and some of these older inner city kind of communities with these bungalows on large lots are gold. So let's go ahead and we're not even looking for a foreclosure now. We're looking at a community. We're going to look at Hayesboro. There's Hayesboro. We got 10 listings, and there's that foreclosure. So we're not going to miss any foreclosures just going directly to a community. It's one thing to keep in mind. We have 10 listings, and we go right from 500 to 600 to 650, right up to 800. So that shows you. And these houses, as you look at them, they're bungalows. They're all going to be on large lots. Some are going to be in better locations within Hayesboro, which will account for some price. And some are going to be recently renovated, like this one. Okay. So we're focusing on, we're not going to miss out on any foreclosures. We still get to look at them, but we've gone directly to a community because we like this style of houses, and we know that they're easy to renovate, they're easy to rent, you have a lot of options. And down the road, because they're on such big properties, the land just keeps getting worth more. Even when the house goes down in value because nobody takes care of it, the land is still going up in value. So here's Hayesboro, and here's one that's conditionally sold. That's at 1,100 and some odd square feet for a little over 600. That would be this one. Or this one. 1,100? A little over 1,100? Yeah, it's this one. 650. Initially sold. But this one down here, it looks like a screaming bargain. It would be if it wasn't completely gutted down to the studs inside. Everything's taken out of there. The kitchen, the flooring, walls, the roof looks terrible. I think whoever started this renovation found out they didn't run their numbers properly. I actually did look at the title, and the people that bought it are not from Calgary. So I think they just get in over their head, and now they've lost it to foreclosure. But you can see that, you can pick up properties under the price range trend, and you can improve them and get some higher prices. Hayesboro. So Hayesboro is a community that, if you want to get into Hayesboro, you would watch this page, and you would watch for that triangle to show up under the range here and look at it right away. Because if it's a good one, they're not going to stay on the market for long. We can look at this one way down here, which was a little over 500 and just under 1,300 square feet. So what did we say? A little over 500, a little under 1,300 square feet. Could be this one right here, 4 Harvey Place, sold in August for 28 days. So the days listed, that's actually the day it sold. It got marked as sold. So Somebody could have put an offer in on that. Probably wasn't a foreclosure. Probably was subject to financing and home inspection, which usually is 10 business days. And that's pretty quick. You can see some of these 2 months, 1 month, half a month, month, half a month, 47, 5 days. So you look at the days listed for these sales, and you can see that this is a good market. It's a very good market, and it moves quickly. So if you want to get into this market and you want to pick up one of these bargains, you do have to be pre-qualified, and you do have to be up to date on the pricing. You've been watching this page for a while. You don't have to do a lot of second guessing of yourself. You can make a quick decision. Yeah, I want in. So that's how you can use this. You can go the foreclosure route, or you can go straight here. Now, I've also put this here, undervalued properties. Stop guessing, stop waiting, stop missing the deals. Oh, so you're familiar with this chart now, and this is Applewood. So we've got some sample. Applewood Park, it's a community. Mackenzie Lake, it's a community. There's a couple triangles under the fair value price range. Hounsfield Heights, Briar Hills. That one is worth looking at. You know, and when I say worth looking at, I mean getting more details. It still might be a deal, it might not be. We don't know until we look at the details. Nothing in Silverado. Nothing in Cornerstone except this one, but you know. So you can just go through the communities here. There's a couple in Alpine Park. Alpine Park is a newer community, so I wouldn't expect much out of there. I'm more interested in the older communities, those bungalows. Cedar Brae is a community like that. So you can see these properties down here. They have potential to buy and be sold up here. Panorama Hills, Renfrew. So you can scroll through Coach Hill. It's an older area. Here's one. So you see where I'm getting at, right? Hillhurst is an old area, but there's been some sold below the fair value trend range. That's how we find properties undervalued before anybody else. Braeside. These two are worth looking at. Yep. So if you want to see all the properties in Calgary, you got to send me an email, and I'll give you another link that'll get you every, I think, 160 communities. There's other ways that we can set you up so that you can do market watches and just focus on one community. When you focus on 1 or 2 or 10 communities, the deals show up. They don't stay on the market long, but they do show up. And my website really makes it easy. I've even got a fix and flip guide here that Marlboro, 27 deals recently, average bought price, average sold price, average hold time. And this is for bungalows only. So, you know, I've ran the software, and I've made it easy to see where people are doing flips recently. And we can pull the before and after for any of these properties, any of these 27 deals, if you want to see the actual before and after. But if you just want this whole list, you need your name and email. What else have we got here? So we've got real-time stats. There's a little hiccup there. Real-time stats. So these are real-time stats. December 3rd, that's today. This is the entire market. But I only focus on detached homes. So there's 2137 homes for sale in Calgary today in these price ranges. Then you can look at condos and townhouses and half duplex, but like I'm looking at detached. And then, so how many have sold in the last 30 days? 845. So what that tells us is we've got 2,137 total listings for sale today in Calgary. 845 have sold in the last 30 days. That's 40% of the total listings have sold. So 60% didn't sell. So that's, they call that close to a balanced market. There's 255 conditionally sold that don't show up in these numbers here. They're not for sale, they're not active, and they're not sold. Most of them will turn into solds, about 40% here. But if we look at this price range, say 500 to 600, you can see it's the exact opposite. 60% are selling and 40% aren't. That's a good market. Yeah. And that's today. That's the seller's market. Over 1.5 million, 20%. So 80% of the properties aren't selling. 174 active, only 33 sold. So that's a buyer's market. Buyers are in control here. Sellers are in control here. Overall, it's kind of balanced. Again, that's what you get on my website. You get real-time stats by price range so that you know what the market's doing. Isn't this a great website? I think it is. My blog. Okay. So I do have a lot of articles that I write. I might get a little bit of help here and there from ChatGPT, but if you don't have a lot of money to invest in real estate and you're interested in real estate, then you can start out with buying an ETF like XRE. And there's all the information about XRE. And you can start with one share's like $15. So you can get into the real estate market and learn about real estate before you do have money to buy properties outright. A lot of information on my blog. Calgary average home prices. Oh yes, I just put this one up here. So in the last 12 months, this is sorted by price range from low to high. Aaron Woods has had 63 sales, an average price of $480,000. So, okay. Where's Aaron Woods? You can see we've got a lot of communities here. If we click on Aaron Woods, we can go directly there. There's 9 listings. These look like a trailer home. This looks like a detached home. This could be a trailer home. Park model, whatever you want to call them. But here we are, we're in Aaron Woods. We've got some properties to look at that are below the average price, which was, I think, $479. Was it? Something like that. 480. 480. So we've got a bunch below the average price and a few above. And if we go down here, we have our beautiful active pending sold chart, and we can see where these active ones are in relation to where everything has been selling, which is our trend line and our trend range. And we can see that there's a couple worth a closer look, but they're probably the trailer park models, and they're not detached homes, which is up here. Yeah, modular homes, modular. Should take those out. I will take those out. I just haven't taken them out. But these are not module homes, so 415, good market. So, this, and again, we have our nice history, every sale in the MLS system. And we're looking at this spread between high and low. Again, we're going to look at, there's going to be some modular homes down here. So until I take those out, you have to take that into consideration. But isn't this great? Average price $398 a square foot. So $400 a square foot. Pretty easy on a 1,000 square foot home. Do we have a 1,000 square foot home? There's one. $400, 400,000. So this one might be too expensive. Anyways, that's my website, and it's a great website. You've got all the communities, so you know where area of town you're looking at. You've got the average prices in the last 12 months, and you can just go directly to that neighborhood and have a look. 20 homes for sale from 529 up to 819. And then you can see how they fit fair value wise. All these are just fair value. You know, you're not underpaying and you're not overpaying. If they're in great shape, they're good properties to buy. You can see the history. You can see the price, the date it was sold, the size, the type of detached home, how many days, the exact address. You can see the history, the evolution of the neighborhood. Isn't this a great website? I like these communities down here. I do a lot of work in these communities. So there's other ways to get to a community and see what's going on. There's a couple that might be worth looking at. So my website is geared towards people that want to know more than just whether it's got granite countertops and all that sort of stuff. And you don't have to sign up. You saw that, right? I didn't have to sign up to get any of this information, except for if you want the full undervalued properties and you want the fix and flip guide, you do have to leave me your information. But I'm not going to bother you unless you want me to bother you. And then you'd send me an email or text message. Email's best. But there you are. There's the best website in Calgary for real estate, residential, detached homes, real estate. Hope you enjoyed this very long, somewhat detailed video. And yeah, as I said, it's updated daily, real-time stats. I'm doing this on December 3rd. The stats are from December 3rd. I have them sorted by price range. Nobody else does that. Nobody. Anyways, have a great day and enjoy my website. Thanks.